Have you ever opened your fridge, looked around, and suddenly felt the unstoppable urge for something sweet? Or salty? Or both? Yeah, you weren't actually hungry. You were being hijacked. What if I told you there's a hidden switch inside your body that could flip your cravings off, like a light switch? Midnight snacks? Gone. Pizza obsession? Neutralized. This isn't sci-fi. This is real science, and it might just change everything. Scientists believe they found the actual switch in your brain that turns those cravings on and off. This could change everything about how we eat and how we control it. You know that feeling when you're full, but the chips are calling your name? That's not just bad willpower. That's biology. Let's be honest. Most of us think cravings are about willpower. Cravings are not just psychological. They're biological. They're triggered by brain circuits that evolved to keep us alive back when food was scarce. But modern science? It says otherwise. For decades, scientists thought cravings were just your brain reacting to sugar, salt, and fat. But now they've found something deeper. But now, we live in a world where food is everywhere. Delivery apps, grocery aisles, TikTok food hacks at 2 a.m. And our brains, they're still running Stone Age software. Inside your brain sits a tiny command center called the hypothalamus. It regulates hunger, hormones, and cravings. Here's where things get wild. Researchers discovered a specific set of neurons, brain cells, that literally act like an on-off switch for food cravings. And when that switch is flipped, the cravings just stop. The specific neural circuit, a switch that literally turns cravings on and off. Meet the melanocortin-4 receptor, or MC4R if you're into acronyms. This tiny protein sits on certain neurons in the hypothalamus, the command center of your brain. It helps control hunger, satiety, and most importantly, urge. In studies on mice, scientists were able to activate MC4R neurons directly. The result? The mice stopped binge eating, even when junk food was right in front of them. And when they disabled the same neurons, the mice couldn't stop eating, even when they were already full. Let that sink in. There's a literal craving switch in your brain. Flip it one way, and food becomes irresistible. Flip it the other, and it's just not. Imagine your brain as a DJ. This craving switch is like the volume knob, and the star of this rave, the molecule called melanocortin-4 receptor, or MC4R for short. Yes, it's a mouthful, ironically. MC4R neurons are like the bouncers at the snack club. They decide who gets in and who gets kicked out. When scientists stimulated these neurons in mice, poof, cravings vanished. When they turned them off, the mice binge ate like it was a Super Bowl party with no rules. Now, here's where it gets personal. Some people are born with mutations in the MC4R gene. They might look totally healthy, but they experience intense, hard-to-control cravings. Constantly. These individuals are more prone to obesity, compulsive eating, and often struggle with traditional diets, not because they're weak, but because their brains are wired differently. Let me say this clearly. Cravings aren't your fault. They might be part of your neurological code. And for the first time in human history, we might have a way to rewrite it. Before you start zapping your brain with jumper cables, don't. We're not quite there yet. But here's where it gets exciting. Some people have natural mutations in their MC4R genes. And guess what? Those people have stronger cravings, more risk of obesity, and a harder time feeling full. Again, this isn't just about willpower, it's about wiring. So what does flipping the craving switch actually look like in humans? Scientists are exploring precision medications that can selectively activate or inhibit MC4R neurons. They're also developing gene therapies that could correct MC4R mutations, like fixing a glitch in your brain's hunger software. In 2023, the FDA even approved a drug targeting this pathway for genetic obesity in children. It's still early, but imagine this. Instead of white-knuckling through a diet, you just don't crave the snack anymore. This isn't science fiction. It's the next frontier of neuronutrition. Researchers are working on targeted treatments like medications or even gene therapy that could flip that craving switch on demand. We're talking about the potential to treat obesity binge eating, and maybe even sugar addiction at the source. This isn't just a diet trick. This is next-level neuroscience. New brain maps show dueling appetite circuits. One stops eating, the other sparks cravings. Together, they reveal why current weight loss drugs hit limits and how future versions might work smarter. Scientists know the stomach talks to the brain, but two new studies from health researchers suggest the conversation is really a tug-of-war, with one side urging another bite, the other signaling enough. One study pinpointed a slender bundle of neurons that runs from the hypothalamus to the brainstem. The cells bristle with GLP-1 receptors, the proteins mimicked by weight loss drugs such as Ozempic. In the study with mice, when the researchers hit the pathway with pulses of light, well-fed mice quit eating. When they silenced the circuit or deleted the receptor, the animals packed on weight. Fasting weakened the connection until a burst of natural or synthetic GLP-1 restored it. The synapse is a volume knob that only turns up when energy stores are low. This is a warning that drugs that keep the signal high around the clock could disrupt the brain's normal rhythm and create some of the side effects of GLP-1 drugs such as nausea, vomiting, constipation or diarrhea, and muscle wasting. The research group traced inhibitory neurons in the stria terminalis to similar cells in the lateral hypothalamus. When researchers triggered the connection, a suddenly hungry mouse would sprint for sugar water. When they blocked it, the animals lounged even after a long fast. Hormones modulated the effect. An injection of ghrelin, the gut's hunger messenger, revved food seeking, while leptin, the satiety signal, slammed it shut. Overfed mice gradually lost the response, but it returned after diets made them thin again. Although the circuits sit in different corners of the brain, members of both teams saw the same principle. Energy state rewires synapses quickly. During a fast, the hunger circuit gains sensitivity while the satiety circuit loosens. After a meal, the relationship flips. It is the first time researchers have watched the push-pull mechanism operate in parallel pathways, a yin-yang arrangement that may explain why diets and drugs that treat only one side of the equation often lose power over time, and may help in making drugs that work even better than today's generation of GLP-1 medications. GLP-1 mimics such as Wegovy and Zepbound can trigger double-digit weight loss, but also nausea, diarrhea, and, in some cases, muscle wasting. Pang's data suggests that therapy targeting only the brainstem circuit and sparing peripheral organs might curb eating without the side effects. Conversely, Rossi's work hints that restoring the body's response to the hunger-regulating hormone ghrelin could help dieters who plateau after months of calorie cutting. Both projects relied on the modern toolkit of neurobiology, optogenetics to fire axons with laser light, chemogenetics to silence them, fiber optic photometry to watch calcium pulses, and old-fashioned patch clamp recordings to monitor single synapses. Those techniques allowed the researchers to tune individual pathways with a precision that has only recently become possible. Now here's a flip side, pun intended. If we can control cravings with a switch, should we? Could food addiction be cured? Would fast food companies fight back? And who decides whose cravings are too strong? There's power in this discovery. And with power comes some seriously deep questions. So let's bring it home. There is a biological switch in your brain that controls cravings. Science is learning how to flip it. And soon we might be able to control hunger in a way we never thought possible. No more guilt. No more 2 a.m. chocolate regret. Just control. Would you flip your craving switch if you could? Or would you leave it as it is? Let me know in the comments. Remember, the future of health might start inside your brain. Smash that like button if your cravings have ever betrayed you. And hit subscribe for more wild science that's changing the way we live.